Welcome back to Big Sky Buckets. I'm Big Sky, and today we're going to do our playoff predictions video. I have tried to make this several times, whether it's technical problems or just I didn't think the recording was very good. We are doing our final one. It is Friday. The last play-in games are happening, and we're just going to do our predictions video. There's not going to be an intro really here other than what you just got, but let's jump into it. I need to speed run this. I need it to be quick. Look, Boston versus either Chicago or Miami without Jimmy Butler, they don't really have a shot against the Celtics. Number one net rated team. They are incredible offensively and defensively. I think this is a clean sweep no matter how you view it. Yeah, it's as simple as that. Neither team really puts up a fight, in my opinion. Jimmy Butler is the entire engine for Miami, and for Chicago, they should just be glad to make it to the playoffs. Sorry, but it is what it is. Too middling of a team. For the Knicks 76ers 2-7 matchup, this is a really interesting one. I think it is going to be the best of the East first round playoff matchups. I think this is a 7-game series. Embiid is not fully healthy yet, but I do like everything else going for the 76ers. I think Jalen Brunson is incredible as well, but I think he's in a position where he's the only real active shot creator and kind of the offensive engine for the Knicks. I also don't love Tom Thibodeau's offensive adjustments for the most part. He's a great defensive coach, but he typically runs his players into the ground, which is fine for the playoffs, but it's why they have so many injuries leading up to the playoffs. And without Bojan, without Julius Randle, regardless of your feelings of Julius Randle in the playoffs, they just need the gravity of another shot creator to pull the defense away. And knowing Nick Nurse, he is easily the best coach that Embiid has ever had. He is going to triple team the living hell out of Jalen Brunson a lot. It's going to be rough. You're going to have to rely on all the others really to try and create. I think Embiid's not going to have the easiest series in the world. I think a lot of it's going to be really hard, but I think that opens the way for Maxey and a lot of these other guys that are shot creators in their own right on the 76ers to get theirs. It's really just about the others for this series. I think Brunson and Embiid will get theirs. It'll be very hard for both of them, especially as Embiid's coming back, but I think Tyrese Maxey is probably the key to the series. So I'm going to go 76ers in 7. This is probably a coin flip series in my opinion with how Embiid is playing recently, but that's what I have. I feel bad for the Knicks, but I think they're on the right track. They have so many paths if they lose in the first round to get better come next year. For the 4-5 matchup, this is I'm dead set on Cleveland in 6. If that is not the case, congrats to the Magic. But simply put here, this is as if Cleveland can't even make it out of this round, then what the hell is the point? Their biggest defensive issue is three-point shooting, which the Magic are really bad at. The Magic don't have the best half-court offense. They are good transition offense, but for the most part here, I think this all kind of aligns for the Cleveland Cavaliers to win in 6. The defensive battle is going to be sweet. It's going to be kind of ugly offense, to be honest, and I just kind of like the guard play a little bit more offensively for Cleveland, despite how great Jalen Suggs is as a perimeter and guard defender. So I'm going to have Cleveland at 6. It's as far as they'll go, to be honest. And then you have Pacers Bucks. This is on paper, it looks like this will be a great series, and then you look deeper with Giannis out, most likely for a long time, if not the entire series. The Bucks are just a shell of what they were to begin the season. They are not the offensive juggernaut they once were. Doc Rivers is not a great head coach. Without Giannis in this series, he averaged 40-plus points in this series in the regular season. And he is obviously the biggest swing factor here. I like the Pacers here just because I don't think the Bucks are a good team without Giannis, as it's happening right now. The Cavs and the Bucks are some of the worst vibes teams in the league right now, especially either post All-Star or post-trade deadline. Both of these teams have been quite literally bad. The Cavs' biggest deficiency on defense is giving up three-point shooting, and that's exactly what the Celtics excel at in their super ultra-talented 5-out starting lineup. This is another sweep to me. Again, I was one of the Celtics' biggest critics throughout the year, but they have a cakewalk, to be honest, especially through the first 2 rounds. No matter, even if the Magic get out, it just still feels like the Celtics are going to be fine. Then you have 76ers Pacers, and I do think both inexperience and just absolutely terrible defense will lead for the 76ers finally get over the hump and get to the conference finals in about 5 to 6 games. I'm going to go with 5 just because I think without Tyrese Halliburton being the player he once was before the injury, I think that kind of hampers them, especially against the 76ers and how great collectively, offensively, and defensively the other guys are for that surround Embiid and Maxey on the 76ers team. Then you have Celtics 76ers, one of the worst matchups for the 76ers. They have never gotten over the Celtics hump in the Joel Embiid era, and I think that remains the same. I will give them 6 games, but I don't think it's any more than that, to be honest. And so you get the Celtics going all the way to the finals. In the West, you have Thunder versus either the Kings or the Pelicans without Zion, with Brandon Ingram not really looking like himself. I think no matter who it is, it's Thunder in 5. I think Sabonis gives them problems, but everyone else, the guard and wing defenders on the Thunder are elite. The net rating is incredible for the Thunder. I think they make it out in about 6 games at most, but I'm going to go 5 here. They make it on to the next round. Then you have Nuggets, Lakers, and again, on paper, this looks incredible, and I bet the games will actually be exciting, but the Nuggets just own these guys, really. I think the Lakers got better offensively. I think they got worse defensively, and I think the Nuggets got slightly worse offensively, like truly marginally, and then they got better defensively. I think simply here, this is Nuggets in 5. I'm going to give the Lakers a game. I could definitely see 2, but I really struggle to see this Nuggets team and how great they are, because they truly are great, losing to the Lakers here. Then you have Mavs, Clippers. This one simply is, you've seen the sway in opinion. I've had this one from the very beginning, since we figured out what the matchup was. I think this Mavericks in 6. I would love to give it the 7-game stamp of approval of another classic Luka versus the Clippers matchup, but we don't know if Kawhi is healthy. James Harden he's not really the best playoff player, and he has not finished the season very well. This is a smaller team. The Mavericks got better at the trade deadline. They have put it together. They have gotten better defensively collectively. I don't know if that defense necessarily is going to hold up. They were looking like near the last 10 games, one of the best defenses in the league. I don't necessarily believe in that, but I think they can be a very, like, an average defense, and that means everything for a team as high-powered offense as they are. So I have them in 6 games moving on to the second round. And then finally, to close it out, I have the Wolves versus the Suns. This is easily the best first round matchup in the West, in my opinion. This is great defense, average offense versus average to bad defense, elite offense. Problem here is simply I want the Wolves to move on. I really do. But I do think this is the worst matchup possible. For the Wolves' win condition is that Anthony Edwards needs to be immaculate from scoring to playmaking in every single one of these games, because the offense is average. The defense is going to get theirs, and then the win condition really here for the Suns, which is more realistic because we've seen it, is they just make way over 50% of their jump shots, which is what they are really good at. And so the defense will be optional for them, to be honest. But again, they're going to, if the Minnesota Timberwolves decide to run their offense through like Rudy Gobert or an injured Karl Anthony Towns, who's definitely not all the way back to being healthy, you see where I'm going with this. The Wolves give up the most mid-range jump shots in the league. The Suns take the most mid-range jump shots in the league. I have the Suns in 7. And that one might bite me because of how Devin Booker plays in elimination games, but I think Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal will most likely eat in this series. Devin Booker is probably a swing factor. But yeah. Moving on, we have the Thunder versus the Mavs. I think this one would be electric. If it does come to pass, I think the Mavs in 7. I really do think every team will most likely win at home, and then finally Mavs win on the road. I think rebounding is probably the win condition. The rebounding is really bad for the Thunder. They just don't need to rebound as much because of how efficient they are, but they're due for a game where they're not as efficient at jump shooting. And I don't think there's anyone that can stop Luka. I don't really think there's anyone who can stop SGA. So it's about kind of everyone else, and you're really weighing J Dub versus Kyrie here, and I'm probably going to pick Kyrie. Again, I think that this is probably closer to a coin toss matchup than anything, and solely because I just believe in the Mavs a little bit more at this point, and I think the Thunder's time comes next year, getting more rebounding and having that playoff experience. They'll know what to expect going forward. They're ahead of schedule, but I still think they're going to be hard out. And then you have Nuggets Suns. I think this goes kind of pretty close to last year. Just the Nuggets are even better. I know the Suns have more high-powered offense than they did before. I do think this is Nuggets in 6. The Nuggets defense getting better, and having the wing defenders that they do in Peyton Watson and Christian Brown. KCP was basically an all-defensive player, at least second-team all-defense this year. They're going to be fine. So I think, unlike the Wolves are most prepared to take on a team like the Nuggets. The Nuggets are probably most prepared to take on a team like the Suns this time around. So I think Nuggets in 6, and then Nuggets Mavs in the conference finals. I have Nuggets also in 6 here. The reason being, I just think this comes down to no one on the Nuggets can stop Luka and Kyrie. No one on the Mavs can stop Jokic and Jamal. And this comes down to the others, kind of like with the Knicks 76ers first round series. And yeah, if you look at the Nuggets, the others are just significantly better at both offense and defense. Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr. has averaged the most points he ever has this season. He has been phenomenal. KCP has been averaging 15 plus. They all kind of create their own shots in a way, even though Michael Porter prefers catch and shoots. Aaron Gordon prefers lobs, but they can all put the ball on the court. They can put it on the floor and get to their spots. And that's something that I think stands out more than the Mavericks offense in really relying on Luka and Kyrie to create shots. Therefore, I like the Nuggets in 6 here. So then you have Nuggets, Celtics, and simply put, this is a 7-game series, in my opinion, evenly matched, and I think the Nuggets get it done because really the only thing that I can use is whether it's championship experience or advanced stats of what their fourth quarters looked like in the clutch and in close games. The Nuggets are quite literally one of the best, if not the best teams in the clutch. They execute better than any other team, and the Celtics are a little bit different. They rely on their three-pointer to help blow out teams. If you look at most of their wins this year, it's mostly because they'll blow out a team and there's just no getting back in it. The Nuggets are not going to really allow that to happen. They will fight the whole time, and they will be as efficient as humanly possible throughout the game. They don't make as many mistakes. They typically just execute all the time. And I think if any of these games come down to last 5 minutes and it's a close game, basically bet on the Nuggets, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm having Nuggets in 7. And yeah, that's what I got for you guys today. Sorry it was so fast, but I've been having issues with this. So sub, like, comment. I will see you guys this upcoming week, basically, as we break down some of these games, series, all of that. But NBA playoffs are here. We are so back.